Hey, it's Jason here again at Fraser Valley Rose Farm. Well, I'm coming to the defense of a plant today. This is Comfrey, and it gets a kind of a bad reputation. I used it in one of my videos previously on how to improve clay soil, just as an example of a crop that you would use for chop and drop, a mulch, a vegetable mulch to improve the condition of your soil. And I took a bit of flack on that video, both privately and on the comments of my video, about recommending this plant because it is so aggressive or invasive. I don't think there's any such thing as a good plant or a bad plant, just plants that are used appropriately or inappropriately. And this one here, I think it's an appropriate use. I'll make that argument in this video here. So first of all, let's look at the plant for a second. It's big and lush and green, and if you chop away at it, you get this wonderful, beautiful green mulch. And if you drop that on the ground, very quickly it turns black and covers the ground and starts to add organic matter. Alternately, I know that some people use it in a way where they take it and they throw it into a bucket of water. And again, you get that blackish, brownish solution that you can use as a liquid feed in your garden. For me, simpler is better. I just drop it on the ground where I need it. It creates the mulch and it adds organic matter. So let's get one thing out of the way early in this video, is that this is not just your garden variety of Comfrey, or maybe it is the garden variety, not the weedy variety. This is a sterile Comfrey, a sterile hybrid between two different species of Comfrey. That means that it doesn't seed around the garden. So what I get is I get this wonderful clumping habit, and I have just dozens of clumps out in the field here, and they're all pretty well behaved. They stay where I put them, which is useful. A lot of Comfreys, if you get the roadside Comfrey, it'll drop seeds all over your yard, and you'll lose control of where it is. And at that point, it becomes fairly hard to eradicate in your garden, or at least put where you want it to be. So this is a sterile Comfrey. Bocking 14 is the cultivar, and you have to receive, obviously you can't just get seeds and start this, you have to get it from a cutting. And so that's the way you get this one here. Like I say, well behaved. Now the permaculturists, the people who are into permaculture, call this plant a dynamic accumulator, which means that it has deep roots that go down and pull up more than average amounts of nutrients from the soil so that it can be used as a good mulch around the garden. I agree with the mulch part. I don't know about the dynamic accumulator part. Maybe somebody can make a comment on that. The other thing that's useful to note about this crop is I think it's traditional herbal use. They call it bone set, and it's often applies a poultice or something like that to heal broken bones or to help heal the body. Again, I don't recommend anything in terms of herbal uses. I'm just not knowledgeable enough on that, but if somebody else wants to make comment on that, that's fantastic. I think this variety was actually bred as an animal fodder, but again, I don't know if I can recommend that use because I don't have any animals. I can't say that, but that gives you sort of a general discussion about Comfrey as a plant in the garden. One last thing I will say, and one of the reasons I'm particularly fond of it, is it's very attractive. So again, you see these beautiful mid-green leaves. It also is followed by flowers, and those flowers are a nice blue color in the garden, blue through violet, and they bloom their heads off. The bees love them. So if you're looking for a plant that your bees love, that looks attractive in the garden, and that you can use as a mulch around, I can't recommend it enough. Now, as for controlling it, if somebody says, well, how do I get rid of it? Well, my suggestion would be to chop it right down and cover it with a thick rubber mat, like a cattle matting or that kind of thing. I'll actually show you how to do that here. So if you want to eliminate it from your garden, that would be the way to do it. Otherwise, trying to till it out or anything like that, you're just going to spread the chunks of root. And one thing I will say about this plant is that the roots, it propagates very easily from root division. So if you were to try to till it out, oh my goodness, you'd spread it all over the garden. So that's not the way to do it. The way you should do it is to just chop off the leaves, use it as a mulch somewhere, and cover it up with a piece of cattle matting or thick rubber matting, and just let it die down. It'll make a couple attempts to throw up shoots underneath that, but it won't get any sunlight, won't get any energy, and so it will die. So let me show you how to do that, and maybe if you have any questions about whether that's going to work, hit me up in a few weeks and I'll do a follow-up on it. All right, I'm going to chop this guy down and show you how I would deal with it if I was trying to kill off a patch of Comfrey, get rid of it out of the garden. You can see just tons and tons of mulch on this thing. So I'm just bringing it down to a low crown. And that should be enough. All right, and as long as I don't get any of these chunks from the base there, that's what it propagates from. So if I just take off the leaves and the foliage, I can use that safely as a mulch around the garden. But if I get a chunk from the edge here, and that goes into the ground, it will probably sprout again. So if I'm trying to get rid of this, trying to eliminate it from my garden, what I would use is a piece of cattle matting, like this one over here. Easy as that. All right, thanks for hanging out with me today to talk about Comfrey. And if you're looking for the Latin name, by the way, it's Symphytum officinale. I'll put that in the comments or in the description of the video below. If you have any questions, comments, debate topics, you know I love the controversy, so leave that below the video as well. Thanks for watching.